And of course, I'd mentioned my guest who would be helping us make sense of these stories. Now, let me start off from these studios here. Well, Barrister, interestingly, President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe have signed into law that constitutional amendment that would be seeing him have an extended year in office up until 2030. That, again, has been tagged a very controversial amendment, but against all of the odds, the Parliament approved that amendment and it has been signed into law. You're fully aware of that amendment. First off, what do you make of the fact that right now it is looking clearly like the voice of the people of South Africa, I beg your pardon, Zimbabwe, seem not to be evidently heard in all of this?
Yes, what you are looking at now and what you are saying is the making of a dictator. A dictator that may even surpass that of Robert Mugabe. And it's unfortunate because I don't see why Africa can do away with one dictator only to be replaced by 4 or 5 others. That has been the trend. Now, the extension of tenure, of what benefit will it be to Zimbabwean people? If not that this man wants to sit tight, what is the guarantee that at the end of this extended tenure, he will not ask for another? Just like Museveni and Paul Biya in Cameroon. So we have a problem at hand here. African leaders, I don't know, seriously, they have disappointed us.
Well, this seems to be on a contract because the government of Zimbabwe says that this is victory for democracy. Can you help Africans understand this, Barrister? How can this be victory for democracy?
Even Satan has followers. David, Satan has followers. In fact, his own followers are even more than that of God. Are you not aware? And so, when you are saying victory for democracy, on what ground? What are the basis for what they are saying? What are the basis, if not that their palms have been greased behind closed doors?
Well, the basis of the fact that the presidential election have been scrapped is on one hand, and of course that again will be saving some funds as far as the government is concerned. Isn't that another basis?
No, it can't be, because the democracy that I know, it belongs to the people. Now, when you have removed it from the hands of the people, then what is democracy here? Look at, somebody is celebrating infamy. Somebody is celebrating corruption. Somebody is celebrating misgovernance. And you said it's a victory. Victory for what? Anyway, I don't need to be told what will happen at the end of the day. If you want to go the way of Mobutu Sese Seko and Idi Amin of Uganda, no problem. All of them left governance in a miserable manner, and they ended up in misery. So it will happen, whether you like it or not.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Barrister. Let me go to Kenya, where Mr. Martins is standing by. Looking at this development, interestingly, President Emerson will be having an extended 2-year in office. And of course, this particular amendment practically scraps the direct presidential elections in the country. But still, the presidency clearly is stating that this is a win for democracy in the country. What do you make of this story? Plus, the amendments clearly have been criticized by opposition figures and, of course, some Zimbabweans on the streets of Harare. But do you think that these amendments might, in one way, prefer some political solutions to the opposition figures in Zimbabwe? Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but I would like you to unmute your mic, Mr. Martins. Okay, I think we're having a bit of a network situation there, but we're hoping that he rejoins the conversation in a bit. Let me. Okay, are you there? All right. While we wait for Mr. Martins to fully be back with us, Barrister, again, the part of opposition in Zimbabwe, some are saying this practically will scrap that in the country, but elections into parliamentarian offices also is still available. Do you think? Okay, I understand that Mr. Martins is back. Thank you so very much for staying with us, Mr. Martins. The network wasn't a bit friendly some couple of minutes ago. Let's establish communication with you.
I hear you.
Okay, thank you so very much.
I can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? All right. Well, while we wait for that to be sorted, now, Barrister, yes, the part of opposition in Zimbabwe, is this an end to it? Because in presidential election, you see different candidates vie for, that seat. But this time, it is the job of the parliament now to appoint who will be the president. What kind of system of government should we call that? Because they say democracy is being sustained in Zimbabwe with this move.
It's very funny, seriously. I said you are looking at a dictator, pro max, because this man will make sure that no other person is appointed except him. That is just the meaning. No other person is going to smell that seat. Now that it is now by appointment. You see? So when you hear and see these things, you don't need to be told what is going on. This is no longer democracy.
All right, then. Let me, I understand that Barrister Smart Nwobi from South Africa has joined the conversation. Let's establish communication. A very good afternoon to you, Barrister, and thank you for joining the conversation this afternoon. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, Barrister Smart. Can we establish communication with you before we go ahead? Okay. Oh dear. Well, maybe we'll get to the bottom of that. Now, I want to switch gears now, and we'll be talking about the Nigerian situation, and of course the Nigerian government, where the Senate has, asked for urgent diplomatic action over xenophobic attacks in South Africa, and of course on Nigerian nationals in South Africa. Barrister, before I get your view on this, I want us to play a report by one of our correspondents at the Capitol, and I'm talking about Ferdinand Igba, before I get to the next question.
Is the fire still looking for?
And I'm hoping that Barrister Smart will be very, very available for a conversation now. Let's take that particular report and we'll be right back.
The motion, the expiration of the ultimatum, was followed by widespread fear, demonstrations, displacement, and attacks on foreign-owned homes and businesses. The Senate also noted that despite repeated attacks on Nigeria-owned businesses in South Africa, South African companies operating in Nigeria, including MTN and DSTV, have continued to operate without reprisal, describing the Nigerians' response as one guided by restraint, African solidarity, and respect for the rule of law.
Senate is concerned that while Nigerian-owned businesses in South Africa have been attacked, looted or closed or abandoned under threat, South Africa origin enterprises and brands including MTN, MultiChoice, etc. have continued to operate successfully and lawfully in Nigeria. The Senate affirms that Nigeria has chosen the path of restraint, African brotherhood, and respect for the rule of law by rejecting reprisals against South African nationals and lawful commercial interests in Nigeria. Regrets that subsequent developments, including the voluntary repatriation of Nigerians and the expiration of the 30th June 2026 ultimatum indicate that previous interventions have not provided sufficient protection or a lasting solution.
Supporting the motion, Senator Wasiu Ehilakun proposed that the federal government consider nationalizing South African-owned companies operating in Nigeria, with the proceeds used to compensate Nigerians who have suffered losses from repeated xenophobic attacks.
South African businesses in Nigeria, like MTN, MultiChoice, etc., should be nationalized, and the proceeds/shares be used to pay Nigerians and Nigerian businesses who have suffered losses in the xenophobic attack in South Africa.
However, former Senate Majority Leader Senator Yahaya Abdullahi urged caution, warning that the matter involved complex international and domestic political considerations that required carefully handling to avoid unintended diplomatic consequences.
What is happening today is the risk of being unpopular here. It's a coordinated effort to destabilize that country, to remove the African National Congress from power. The position of those people who are now xenophobically attacking other Africans has a political purpose. And the purpose is to delegitimize the government, first from the right wing of the white South Africans, and now coming from the black ones.
I said earlier that there's a need, in view of what Senator Abdullahi told us, that we should allow our Committee on Foreign Affairs to investigate. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. We lead in Africa. We lead, whether anybody likes it or not.
After deliberations, the Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barau, who presided over the session, referred the motion to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs for further legislative scrutiny and directed the committee to submit its report to the Senate for further action. From the National Assembly, Ferdinand Igba, reporting for VOP TV in Abuja.
You have it, and that again is, of course, what happened at the floor of the House. But I understand now that Barrister Smart Mobi is now very much available for this conversation. Once again, thank you so very much for joining Barrister Smart, and we have a very short time to have this conversation, but thank you for joining the conversation again this afternoon. Well, I would like you to unmute your mic so we can hear you clearly.
My mic is...
Okay, fantastic. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. David.
All right, now...
Thank you for having me on your platform.
Let's pick it up from where we stopped yesterday. You did say that some Nigerians will, who, of course, of goodwill, bring in, relief materials to other Nigerians at the Nigerian Consulate, but they were asked to raise invoice for those materials. Please help us understand what that situation is presently, and then what is your union, that is the Nigerian Union in South Africa, doing about the situation?
Okay, thank you, Mr. David. The fact of the matter is that the stranded Nigerians, the High Commission, not the Consulate, as you know, they fled from years of attack and destruction of their properties, and they're now stranded. And the embassy informed them that they do not have a budget to feed them and to take care of their need while they camp at the embassy. We then, as leader of union, pleaded with our members, as well as the leadership, as well as other geopolitical organizations, to bring relief material, to take turns to bring cooked food, as well as other perishable consumables. But now what it appears from one of the of the stranded Nigerians, he gave a report to our union that some of the staff members of the High Commission would then take a video of them as well as the relief material that was brought, and in order to raise invoice that as if the
ones that funded it
have been taking care of these relief materials. But we are investigating these allegations to ensure that the acting ambassador as well as the members of the staff of the High Commission do not raise such invoices to the federal government, because it is on record that it's the Nigerian Union and other goodwill Nigerians that have been providing food as well as humanitarian aid for these stranded Nigerians. But of course, the most important shocking aspect of what has transpired yesterday is that because we launched an investigation, and these people that are sleeping in the High Commission were told to leave. So I was informed that both women and children are now camping outside of the High Commission instead of their usual shelter inside the High Commission, because it appears that they are giving information to union leaders about the activities of the staff of the High Commission.
So right now, the people who are told to leave are already documented Nigerians ready for repatriation back to the country. Please correct that.
Yes, both those who are yet to be documented and those who are documented, what the acting ambassador had to tell them that the Nigerian mission will not be turned into a guest house. But it's on record that the Nigerian government have over 13 properties only in Pretoria where these people can be housed. I'm not sure if I shared with you a video yesterday where women and children were crying and they were left in the cold. And these are the things we want to get out there to the Foreign Ministry as well as NITCAM, Honorable Dr. Abike Erewa, for them to be aware of the activities of the Nigerian representatives in South Africa.
Wow. Okay. Now, I know for now you haven't shared the video, but I'm expecting it pretty soon. Looking at this development, what has the Nigerian embassy been saying since after these individuals are being sent out of the commission? Has there been any official statement from them?
Not an official statement. Well, we are informed that the officials of the High Commission informed them to return to their homes or wherever they are coming from. That once flight is available, that they will be called to come. But that will be unreasonable, given the fact that these people do not have homes to return to. They are stranded, and they would have been repatriated should the flight become available. Another important thing to note is that a flight did came yesterday that was due to evacuate about 270 airplanes flight, but that flight never left due to technical issues, and the passengers are still stuck at the Johannesburg or Tambo International Airport. Beside that, there's still about more than 150 Nigerians still stranded just at the entrance of the High Commission as we speak.
Oh dear. Okay, now, as it stands, the ones who are supposed to have left today are still at the airport. 270 of them stranded at the airport.
Correct.
For technical reasons from the flight. The ones who are at the embassy is over 100 of them still stranded but not been evacuated.
Correct, and not been allowed inside the embassies in order for them to be sheltered as usual.
Oh dear. Okay, now looking at this development, have you been able to make contact with the NITCOM boss, Honorable Abike Dabiri, so far in all of this conversation?
We, as a union, we are busy compiling reports. We are busy compiling a comprehensive report of what has transpired since the beginning of this evacuation process up to date. So what the union has directed the leadership should do is to give a comprehensive report of the activities as well as the inefficiency of some of the Nigerian embassy staffs, as well as when it comes to communication. So we do not want to give a bit by bit report. We are busy with a comprehensive report in order to forward same to both the Foreign Ministry, the Permanent Secretary, as well as the Office of the NIDCOM.
All right, then let me bring this conversation to the studio. Barrister, looking at this development, Nigerians are being told to stay out of the commission in a very unfavorable cold weather condition in South Africa. Over 100 women, children, and of course men. And we hear as well from this report that over 271 Nigerians are still stuck at the airport as a result of technical issues of the flights that is supposed to pick them back to Nigeria. Your take with all of this development?
It's an embarrassment of the highest level that Nigerians are being treated like slaves. Slaves in South Africa. No thanks to embassy staff. No thanks to the embassy staff and their inefficiency. And this is happening in South Africa. Is that not a mockery on its own? And so when they begin to mock you, when they begin to mistreat you, do you blame them? They are taking pictures of all these things. They are taking pictures of Nigerians living like slaves, living like destitutes, because the embassy staff didn't know what to do. It is an embarrassment of the highest order, seriously.
Is it not? Is it about not knowing what to do or being callously wicked?
Both of them. Because if they know what to do, they should have made a representation to the Nigerian government at home that these are our people. Look at what they are going through. And the government will quickly do something. I mean, it is said that we have 13 properties where these people can be rehabilitated. What are those properties doing? Who are inside those properties? They don't know what to do. They know what to do, but they don't want to do it. Apparently, politics and the tribalism have set in. That is just the truth. That's my own thinking. Politics and tribalism have set in, David. Those guys are on their own over there now.
All right.
In a cold weather. And you have a government at home.
Quite unfortunate, really.
Can you just imagine?
Let me get the view and, of course, the concluding thoughts of Barrister Smart in all of this. And then what would you want to say to the Nigerian government? Because this is also a platform to talk to them as well, particularly on this situation as it's evolving. It's quite an unfortunate situation, we must say. But then, in 1 minute, please help us. What is your concluding thoughts and, of course, your thoughts as well?
Thank you, Mr. David, and the viewer as well. This is a disappointing stories or information coming from South Africa, and understanding that the Nigerians who are stuck in airport and in South Africa at large, they are taxpayers of the embassy in South Africa. And seeing what is happening, disappointment, they are behaving like South African as well, and these are Nigerian staff. So essentially, it is an emergency that should be taken by the legislative of Nigeria, the legislature body, to table a motion to demote or to bring back the ambassador back home, because he is not understanding, or this information is like it is not in his purview. So Nigerians should be given dignity even in the foreign land. And that's why ambassador is deployed there. Understanding this issue happening, it is so absurd.
Quite unfortunate,
so
really.
This is emergency acts should be taken to ensure
Quite unfortunate, really.
Even dignity.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Mr. Martins, for lending your voice in this conversation. Now, let me go back to South Africa. Barrister Smart, your concluding thoughts, and then what can you say to the Nigerian government at a time like this, with all of this development that is unfolding in South Africa? In 1 minute, because of our time.
Quickly, without wasting much time, we have seen inefficiency of the acting High Commissioner. David, as you know, that the president has appointed a substantive High Commissioner in the person of Kayode. We quickly want to urge the federal government to send a High Commissioner of standard to South Africa in this time of need, that the current acting High Commissioner, who is the charge of the affairs, is not in tune with the need of the people. It's not communicating with union leadership. It is not taking into account the pains and the suffering of ordinary Nigerians and who are being embarrassed on the street of South Africa. That something urgent should be done concerning these people. There should be adequate communication through the union leaders in order for us to inform these people. There must be a kind of synergy, but the acting High Commission seems not to be in tune with his duties as a diplomat in South Africa.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Barrister Smart and Wobi, for chiming in on this conversation. And we hope that you would also reach out to us as soon as possible with footages, and we will talk afterwards anyways. Thank you so very much for being here. Also, big thank you to you, Barrister Darlington Agumo, for joining the conversation today, and also Mr. Martins Njue from Kenya. Thank you so very much for also lending your voice on the conversation.